Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to G Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. Here we are on July 7th, 2020, and I just had my first cup of coffee this morning. Well, what happened yesterday was I took the day off and I took care of my little problem, my gout, and yeah, I got some black cherry juice, and I drank that, and then I had some time to soak my foot in some Epsom salts, and everything worked out just fine. I'm moving around just fine, but it was really hot and windy yesterday, so I waited until just before sunset. I came out about 7:30 p.m. last night, and I worked for an hour until the sun was down, and it was getting hard to see out here. And I put in the cross braces on the walls here. And I'm going to give you a few tips for those of you who are thinking about putting these things together. All right. So one thing to pay attention to is the overlapping. Say one brace overlaps the other. Okay, now when you're putting these things in, you start in the corners, put the bolt in the corner of the strut or the brace, and then you can raise it up and work your way towards the center as you're going. Then go to the other side and do the same thing. Bolt the corner in, and then come back across and raise it up and get it together. Now, these things should end up parallel. If you see a gap on this end or a gap on this end, then they're not parallel. So you're going to kind of like tap them up and down. So make sure you leave all the screws loose or the bolts loose, so you can move this thing up and down and get these things parallel before you actually tighten them in. These still haven't been tightened, and that's something that I learned a long time ago from when I was an auto mechanic, and I would be assembling something on an automobile, and my boss would always tell me, drove it into my head, that when you're putting something together with multiple bolts, don't tighten the bolts until you get them all in. And that still sticks in my head. So none of these have been tightened. And what I do to tighten them when it comes time is I have this little setup right here, and it's a 10mm socket, and then that's a little socket driver bit that you can get at Harbor Freight Tools. This is the 1/4 inch. They make them in quarters, 3/8, and half, and they usually come as a set. So I've got them in my kit here. There's another kit I bought from Harbor Freight years ago. I bought that in 2007, so that's 13 years old. And let's see, I think it was 05, so that was May 5th of 2007 I bought that, and it was $30 at the time. Nice little kit. I've used it thousands of times. And here's the 3/8 bit that I'm using, the 1/4 inch just like this. The 1/2 inch is down, buried underneath there. But anyway, I can go through real quick and start at one end and just and just go right down the line and tighten all the bolts in no time. Another reason why you don't want to tighten them all at once is because sometimes you have to add something to that bolt down in the instructions. Like all of these bottoms here, when I put that bottom plate on, I had to put them in the put the little hold down clips on there. But then I had to loosen those up again to slide these wall braces down over the tops of them, over the top of the head, and retighten them. If I'd have left them loose in the first place, I would have saved the step and saved some time installing. Okay, the other thing is, these go on the insides of this brace. And there's a spacer in there that they provide that takes up the space between here and there so that it doesn't jam on it. Okay, so these braces here go on the insides or the outsides of the struts. Inside of the studs outside of the struts. And there's a spacer there that's the same as one of these to hold it. Okay, so same thing in the back. Now notice that the overlaps alternate. So over here, the top one from that, starting on that side, is on the top. That comes from this side is on the bottom. And then you alternate it. The one from this side is on the top and the one from that side is on the bottom. Same thing over there. You want to alternate those when you do that. It doesn't really say anything about that in the instructions, but it does show it in the picture of the instructions. So I decided, well, there must be a reason for that, so I did it that way. All right, then I put in the door frame pieces right here, and these two little horizontal braces on both sides. So that part's all done. What's my next step? Well, the next phase, which will be the next video, is going to be starting to put in the roof trusses. And one thing I want to mention is, well, a couple of things. This bracket right here was bent slightly. It shouldn't hurt it, but I will straighten it out before I start assembling the roof, just in case. And it just takes a pair of pliers to straighten it out. And those came in a package, and they were supposed to be marked, I think it was something like number 39 is what they called it. And the package was marked 13. So somebody screwed up again on labeling. They really need to check their quality control in those places. See what's going on in there. Somebody doesn't understand what they're being told. All right. Critters have been tunneling here. Look at that. What the heck? Oh, I'm sorry, that one's from my little step stool when I was getting up there on the top. But here something tunneled in. So I won't worry about it because I'm going to have the wire mesh. Something did tunnel up from underneath there and was underneath my wire last night, running around there trying to get through, but couldn't get through. So yeah, I guess they're still trying to tunnel from underneath, and I'll have to see what the heck's doing that, and see if I can't fix that problem. What I might end up doing, and this came to me last night as I was laying in bed just before dozing off, is since I'm going to be putting some more of the desert dirt inside of here anyway, I'm thinking, why not bring my electric mixer down here, my concrete mixer, and I'll pick up a couple of bags of Portland or plastic cement, whichever one is cheaper, and without adding water to it, I'm just going to mix a dry mix of the desert dirt and cement powder together, and then I'll spread it out in here and level it all. And then I'll give it a light hosing down with the garden hose to wet it down and solidify that. That will actually hold this wire together better in the center, and I won't have to worry about stocking rocks on it. But having done something like that, I think I'm going to be better off because of this stuff going on than the other way around. All right. So this area over here, the reason that is because I dropped a bolt and it went through the wire, and then I had to pull the wire back and start digging in the dirt to find the bolt. What a pain. All right, everybody, wind's coming up. Hope it's not drowning me out too bad. I'm going to go inside, have my breakfast now, and then I'll see what I'm going to do for the day. If it's going to be another hot one, I may take it easy and go inside the garage and work on my solar water heater panel. So one way or the other, there'll be another video coming with either the roof struts on this thing or the solar panel starting, the DIY solar panel. So don't want to spoil it for you. Just G Bear signing off.